Hello, this is Run the Numbers. My name is Jason, and the video that you're watching, that's part of the Run the Numbers channel, here is specifically a video, as you can tell, very bumpy, and we're also getting into the sunshine in just a minute. So that's a staple of the Run the Numbers channel to indicate that this video is part of the warm-up series, because yes, we're doing this walk and talk. I'm on the go, you're watching me, and we're walking through the streets of Los Angeles, California. And so we're here talking about a topic on personal finance. It's a good topic today. You're gonna like it. It's the topic of, you might have seen the title already, pay yourself first, and what exactly that means, and how you can go about that and still accomplish all the things you need to with your finances. I'll get into the specifics, exactly how to kind of go about it to do it in a smart way. But before we get to that, let me also mention that this video is part of the 100 Videos Challenge. And so, what does that mean? That means this video is one of 100 videos that I am creating, publishing to YouTube. And I'm doing that all 100 videos in 100 days. So yes, roughly one video a day for 100 days. I'm getting towards the end. Can almost see the light at the end of the tunnel of this challenge. And I'm enjoying it, and hopefully you've been enjoying it too, you, my wonderful audience, because this is all in an effort for you, my wonderful audience, to have a whole lot of content and have it all help you along your personal finance journey. Okay, so in that effort, helping you on your personal finance journey, let's jump right into today's topic, to pay yourself first. So, you might have heard that, of course, in many different places. You know from previous videos that I love to bring top of mind some things that I've been rereading from the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, and of course it's mentioned there. It's brought in other places too, but it's notably mentioned in the book, and I'll kind of use kind of the way it's explained there as a good way to think about it, because I like the thinking there, and that is, you want to make sure you pay yourself before all your other considerations of taxes and your debt obligations, so your credit cards or your auto loan or all the different things, maybe even before your mortgage. And you're going to do all that, paying yourself first in the form of, making sure you have money that goes towards productive ways to build wealth, to improve your personal finance. So namely, especially if you follow the whole thinking through Rich Dad Poor Dad, is that you want to put more items in the asset column. That is, you want more investments, you want more savings vehicles that grow and basically work for you and put more money into your pockets. The whole idea of kind of examining it all by thinking through at length of the cash flow, having money flow into your pockets from these particular, assets. So how do you do all that? Because maybe if you're unfamiliar with all this, you might be screaming now right into the screen. How can you make sure you do that, pay yourself first, and still afford your mortgage, for example, or paying your taxes? All those things must happen. Now the whole idea here is to say you're gonna do those things. So it's not pay yourself first in lieu of these other parts of your obligations, to pay your taxes, to make sure that your credit card bills are paid, all those things. Of course, you're gonna do those things. So just to simply, put us all on the same page, that it's not an either or. You're gonna do those things, but you just need to craft the game, make the setup here that in fact you put an emphasis on investments and savings and the things that put the items into your asset column, you're going to make sure you have an emphasis there first. Do all that while making sure all the other parts happen as well. The taxes, the paying down your debts, credit cards, mortgage, auto loan, all the things that you might have. Of course, it makes it a whole lot easier if those things are kind of accounted for, managed, you could say, and thereby you don't have any, it's not a stretch to be paying your credit card bills. It's not a stretch to be paying your mortgage, all these things. So yes, there's, of course, I mentioned Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and the thinking there, and the whole mention was, if you need to, you might take on a second job. You might do all the things to make sure that you, especially early going, have the income that truly makes sure all of the investments that you need to put in place occur, and yes, you're paying your taxes, and yes, you're doing all those things. Now, eventually, as you improve situations and as you have more assets, that wealth begins to grow, then yeah, you might not need that second job or side hustle or all those things. Maybe you didn't even need that to begin with. You just have such a great income or business of some kind. But in the book, there's just the example of taking on a second and a third or whatever it is you need to do. Kind of, you can go to the extremes to make sure that you set up the game that in fact you pay yourself first. And it's just this mindset. It's the whole emphasis here is just to have the mindset that you want to first make sure your money is going towards productive, wealth building assets. So that is to say, cash flow generating items in that asset column. Okay, so of course now you're thinking, well, of course yes, it is easier said than done. How do you go about doing all this? So I don't want to brush over that. It's difficult. It is difficult. It's gonna take hard work. It's gonna take a lot of time. It's gonna take patience. It's gonna take a lot of smarts and know-how. So all these things, you need to set up the game, as I said, to make sure that you pay yourself first and the obligations don't fall by the wayside. So your tax obligations, always pay off your taxes. Don't ever take a battle against the IRS in no shape or form. I would say strongly not a good idea to unnecessarily take a battle there. Okay, but let's see. I'm going to turn around here as I want to part with. Actually, you know what? Especially with, it looks like this gentleman here is going this other way that I was trying to avoid, and now we can go in separate directions because he's got a can there that's a little bit noisy. Okay, nonetheless, I want to make sure to part with you on this idea that it's this mindset that you need to take, that it's not going to be easy. It's going to take hard work, and it's going to take a lot of know-how, some smarts, some thinking, critical thinking. It's going to take patience. It's going to take all these traits that will push you, but it is important to make this setup, to construct the game in this way. You could say this whole personal finance game, so that yes, you pay yourself first. Because the more and more that you're putting the first obligations you have, the first go-to of what you reach, say when a paycheck comes in, is okay, let me pay off this bill and pay off this credit card and do all of these things, and you don't put an emphasis on the measures to build wealth, the investments, the savings, you're going to be at a detriment. All right, so with that, I'll leave you there. I gotta run.